Yo, cut the music. Hey, yo, I interrupt your daily scheduled broadcast to let you know you're in the field with the Trackstarz. This is one of the loudest hip-hop radio shows on the face of the planet.
Yeah, it's about that time, you already know. Turn the speakers up, man, it's time to start the show. Sean Tanner, Ryan Righteous, DJ Jeremiah. We bringing the heat, man, this joint be fire like, bruh. We in the field, we in the field, bruh. We in the field, we in the field. Just put it in work, we raising the bar. You tuned in to the Trackstarz.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right, this segment is sponsored by the preseason tour. Preseason tour coming to ATL, coming to the Trackstarz studio next week. Culture Villains are going to be in the building, man. Shout out to Wande. Shout out to Rockstar JT, Cesar Josh, Big Yay, and our own Rick Sincere, along with other folks like Chris Noel and Cam will be in the building. So make sure that you come out. It's going to be next Friday, May 17th at the Trackstarz studio, 2619 Ben Hill Road inside Tri-Cities Church. Come on and hang out with us, all right?
Yo, we have a very special guest in the building, Speech. You may know him from Arrested Development, but he's doing a ton of stuff right now, man. Yeah. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to see y'all brothers, man.
You as well.
You know what I'm saying?
You as well.
Yeah,
I just
man.
saw you on YouTube. You know,
yeah.
Videos
Yeah.
So we just caught up a little bit. You actually have helped us out over the years. You may not even remember. And we used to put on events for child sex trafficking awareness, and you came out and performed for us and, you know, did various things with us. So appreciate you being here, man. We want to catch up with you, find out what you're doing in Atlanta and just around the world. Yeah. Tell us what you've been working on recently.
Well, I'm in the studio right now. So, like, we're working on new music. I got some of my team, people that I really love working with. We're all in the studio doing various songs. A lot of it's for, like, sync licensing and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I've been doing a lot of that. We, like, landing songs with Ellen and The Shy and, you know, BET and various things. So that's cool. And then other than that, I'm, like, working on documentaries. So I got a documentary called The N-Word Factory, which is it's a mini series, like a mini doc series that's on YouTube right now, and people can check that out at brotherspeech.com. And basically it's talking about the 400-year marketing campaign that's demeaning the image of black people throughout the world.
Wow.
And it's a pretty heavy piece, but it's great. And then I've done a documentary movie called 16 Bars, which is me going into the jail and working with inmates on music and hearing their stories. And it's a full-length documentary. Wow. We've won a number of music festival awards on that one, and it's incredible. I mean, just really great. So those are the things that's happening. Of course, we're still touring, and we just released some new music about maybe 7 months ago, late last year.
That's
Man,
awesome.
That's crazy. How many years have you been in the game?
30.
Woo!
Yeah. 30.
That's awesome.
30 with a record label, put it that way. I mean, even longer than that, just, you know, hustling and doing music and hip hop, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What was the first time things popped off and you were just like, okay, this is working?
Well, for me, it was in high school. I had a group called Attack, and we were doing, like, pressing our own records, putting them out, and everybody in the high schools throughout my hometown of Milwaukee was on it, you know what I'm saying? So it was some of the first hip hop that was ever released in Milwaukee, and so we was all, you know, excited about that movement. But then when I moved to Atlanta, it took a whole nother level with Arrested Development. I mean, Arrested Development was 1987. I got here to Atlanta and just started touring around the city and just really starting to really find our footing. That was really when I would say, like, the biggest, you know, I knew it was like, okay, this is going to be my career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Do you do you go back and look at the stuff that you did in the past and say, man, we put our ground in, we put some work in?
Definitely,
you know what
definitely.
I mean?
Like I do, and I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? Like there's some stuff, you know, a lot of the stuff I did even with Arrested Development, but of course before that too, I realized like it was great hip-hop music, you know what I'm saying? It was good cutting. I used to be a DJ, so it was a lot of cutting and scratching and just good artistry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And laying that down. And I give props because, you know, one of my group members that I was in before Arrested Development in my group Attack that I just mentioned, he was murdered, my man T.A. Wiz, and I give props because he laid it down too. Like before he passed on to the next plane, he laid down some great hip hop music. So I'm proud of the whole legacy, you know, and of course Arrested Development. I'm the most proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Like, how did you, you know, Arrested Development, always known for Afrocentric, pro-black. How did you tell them, like, hey, I'm a born-again Christian, and how did they take that and everything? Like,
it was tough, you know, like the conscious community has a skewed perspective of Christianity based on, number one, they think that it's a European religion. It's not. They think that Jesus is white. He's not.
Yeah.
So they think that it was a tool for slavery, which it was, but that wasn't Jesus's doing. That was evil's doing. That was the sin. That was the opposite of what Jesus wants the religion to be about. So there's a lot of skewed and misunderstandings. It's a lot of clouds in the way of the truth. And so there's a lot of, you know, pushback, you know what I mean, all the time. Like, I just released a YouTube video 2 days ago, and I'm talking about my conversion to Christianity, and I'm getting, you know, like constant comments of people like,
you the white man, you with the white man
like,
devil.
like, I used to like you, now I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you cannot like me in one post. Like, just like you used to like me for 30 years in one post, and I can see it was a post dissing you. It's a post about my faith, and all of a sudden you hate me. Like, really? Like, is it that serious?
Yeah.
I think people lose sight of what they're striving to say. I think what they're really striving to say is they think that it's opposite of bringing freedom.
Yeah.
And that's, again, it's a misunderstanding of the revolutionary nature of Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you get into film? Like, what made you go down that path?
I always appreciated film. I've been a fan of film since I was young. And you know, being a entertainer and an artist, you're always on music video shoots. So you see the art of it, and you do, as a writer, which I am, you see the art of storytelling. So it's just really putting those two things together that makes sense.
Yeah.
For me, too, as conscious, and I talk about this on the N-Word Factory, as conscious music got purposely edited out of the mainstream of music, filtered, then I had to think of other ways of getting the messages across. And it didn't come easily to me. At first, I was like, well, I just want to do music. I want to keep doing it through the music. But I realized it just was not happening. And so I was like, let me do this way. And it all of a sudden happened. The N-Word Factory, the first episode's hit over 1 million views. The second episode is getting close. So throughout the social media, I've been able to really find a niche where people are getting to hear the message. And my whole goal was to wake up people's minds and enlighten people, just to empower all people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How did that, the N-Word Factory, like, I remember you got a lot of heat over the picture at the Jay-Z
the
thing,
Rock Nation pre-Grammy party.
Yeah, I remember that, and people were going in on you about that, but you were spitting facts.
Yeah.
So was that like the precursor to the N-Word Factory?
That was the precursor. I'm glad you brought that up. So I put out a post on my IG page that I actually didn't think was going to be controversial. It was just basically saying that the industry lifts up certain artists that have a very seedy backstory. Okay, now they're talented artists. I'm a fan of these artists, but they have a seedy backstory that's not just seedy from a crime standpoint, but it's also seedy as from the standpoint of disrespecting our black women, disrespecting black people, black men too, lessening the the value of the life of black men, talking about killing each other, so on and so. These things are rarely missing in hip-hop today, in mainstream hip-hop. Those themes are very, very prevalent, and it's been going on for decades. It's not just a minor thing on the side. I wouldn't even talk about it if it was, because hip-hop has always had that element. And that's fine. I actually understand why it should be there. But when it becomes the 80% mark or 90% mark of what's mainstream hip-hop, then that's problematic. Not just for me as a listener, but for us as a community. It changes the perspective of whole new generations of people. And that's got to be challenged, and that's got to be addressed. So my IG post addressed that. And, you know, with any truth, it's just like with Jesus himself. When he speaks truth, his life was threatened numerous times. If you just look through the Gospels, they tried to kill Jesus numerous times. So I think that truth is always met with some opposition.
So how did that happen in hip hop? Like, you were around from early, right? So how did it get to the point where it was so accepted to violent lyrics, misogyny, sex? Like, how did that become so popular in hip hop?
I talk about it in N-Word Factory 1 and 2, especially in 2. So to give you a brief rundown, it started years ago when white supremacy was started in the first place. White supremacy was started as a concept to justify the whole all men created equal principle that was set off in this country that made this country a different type of country from the rest of the world. And so when that white supremacy campaign started, they had to justify the fact that there were slaves. At the same time, they're saying all men are created equal.
Right.
So they started to come up with negative connotations on us and images and stereotypical images of us to justify why we were slaves in the first place.
Right.
And so that started years and years ago, centuries ago. But as that has moved on, they found ways to inject it in different things that are very popular. And hip hop literally is the most popular music genre on the planet Earth. So when they found ways to inject it into that, and I say they, meaning anybody that has a subconscious or conscious white supremacist view. By the way, that's not just white people that have that. Many blacks have been trained to have a white supremacist view, whether we know it or not.
Right.
So a lot of us are also perpetrators of this same exact imagery. So it's happening in hip hop. My In Factory Part 2 in particular shows how it was gradually building over the years. And a lot of our most famous and celebrated hip hop songs helped to push it into the stratosphere to such a popular extent.
So you think this is like a modern day minstrel, like we're acting out what they see in us?
Correct. They're acting out what they would like us to be, and we are now fulfilling that prophecy for them. And we've just got to wake up. I know, because I'm black and I'm around us all the time, that we are not these things by and large. Now, there's elements that are, but by and large, we are not these things. But the things that are being put up in the forefront, elevated by major mainstream corporations, I mean billion-dollar corporations, not small companies, these are the images that they consistently push out there while holding back images of others. I'll ask you, have you ever seen a Chuck D on Jimmy Fallon or a speech on Jimmy Fallon? Or, you know, my point is, but you have seen Cardi B, you have seen 50 Cent, you have seen, so I can go on and on with the artists that you will see, but there's other artists that are speaking and kicking knowledge that you won't see. They might perform, but they're not going to sit on the couch. You know what I'm saying? So there's a double standard in what they are allowing to get through the filter.
They didn't put Wu on the couch.
that?
Wu-Tang was there. They weren't on the couch. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here's a question for you. So, what do you think would have happened to our community if the conscious community did continue to dominate hip hop?
Well, I could tell you from examples when we had more positive influence in media. For instance, when Spike Lee was doing Do the Right Thing and when Cosby was simultaneously doing the Cosby Show in Different World, college enrollment struck up 70%. You had more people going to college in that era, black people in particular, going to college in that era than any other era prior or after. The point is that mainstream does influence the culture of the society.
Yeah.
But that's not new. That's not me saying that. Every dominating person throughout world history knows that. If they can control the media, they can control the culture. That's a very well-known fact of any race. But when it applies to our race, it's even deeper. Because of our slavery experience and the oppression we've been through, our families have been, by and large, decimated. Many of our people are being raised by single mothers. And so with that in mind, the music takes on an extra importance. For us, even in the hip hop game, lyrics many times are like scripture. Not literally, but you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of our ways, our worldviews of life come from lyrics we've heard. You know what I'm saying? It ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. It's like, it becomes a theology. And so for those that are Christians, it probably doesn't override us. But for many that are not, it does override. It is what they believe. That is the book. That's the proverb.
I have a saying that I was saying, like, I think sometimes it's hard for us to not become the music and just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up, single mom. I knew my father, but he wasn't in our household. But I remember my mother finding my hiding hip hop collection under my bed, and with Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, all that. And she was like, "You can listen to it, but don't become that. I don't want you to follow what they're saying." And I was like, "I won't." You know what I mean? I just had the right. I knew that I wanted to make her happy, so I wouldn't go down the path that people in my family didn't do. So I just say I think the thing is that for some people that don't know we exist, because sometimes they don't know positive hip hop
It's not put out on a pedestal so much.
For those who don't, I would say enjoy it, but don't become it. And I think that's where we as a people are, because sometimes we want to become 2 Chainz, we want to become like Cole or Kendrick or Drake or whoever else, but you want to become what they're saying, versus like our white counterparts who can listen to the music and still be doctors, lawyers, nurses or whatever. You know what I mean? So
No
I think
doubt.
that's what we are in our dichotomy is as a people is how do you listen to this now without becoming it if you don't have parental supervision.
I agree, and that was what I was just saying a second ago. A lot of them have so many different role models in various ways. So whether they have a more full family, a nuclear family, or if they even have other examples on television. So with white people, they have their ratchet artists as well, but it's just a fraction. If you look on television right now, you can see white people talking about science, nature, the wildebeest somewhere off in Africa. You can see them talking about fishing expeditions. You can see them talking about golf. You can see them talking about every single thing. When you look at blacks on television, you might get a positive show here and there, but most of us are spitting on each other and sort of dogging each other in reality TV and fighting and who's baby daddy and all of that. So or crime. So that's what we primarily see of us. But there's a wide range of things that you can sort of look to as a white person that you could say, oh, I want to be like him or her or this person or that. But it's a wide range. And so, you know, it helps.
So with your documentary, whose eyes are you trying to open, ours or theirs?
Both. Because all of them have been affected. So our eyes have been affected, whether we know it or not. So much of, including myself, so much of what we think has been conditioned into us over the years. And so that's the same with white people. Even if they're not quote unquote racist or they mean well, a lot of their pathologies and worldviews come from these conditionings. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like just the Ku Klux Klan doing this conditioning. What I break out in N-Word Factory Part 1 is these were the main thinkers of the early years of America. I'm talking about Abraham Lincoln. I'm talking about John Marshall. So these are like major thinkers. These aren't Ku Klux Klan members with hoods and stuff like that, although that they were a part of it too. But a lot of people think racism only comes from that particular little fraction of people. You know what I mean?
So I have a question. So if a financier comes in, right, and they put a check on the table, what's the first media that we need to attack, and what do we need to do? What does that look like? Like the first thing we do to start getting the message out to every side and to change what's actually happening on television, because we always say if we own our own stuff, we can put out what we want without censoring and without people pulling it back or advertisers pulling away from it. What do we do first?
Agreed. We have to have our own media, so we have to start telling our own stories. So I would say media first, because media helps to create worldview. It helps to create what you're thinking about. You know, like right now, anybody that watches television knows that there's been some drama going on with, you know, President Trump's finances. And so these things are sort of fed into us. You get what I'm saying? And so if we are having more media that's reaching more people, then we could tell our own stories and help us to think properly about where we're going and so on and so forth. So that's what I think.
You mentioned billions of dollars that these people have. What are the chances that we have to actually change the media that our children are getting? Because if we're going up against billion-dollar companies and we're like a $100 company, what chance do we have?
Yeah, I think consciousness. And so to me, it is a slow but sure process, but we have to become more aware, because one of the things that you just said, like the fact that we have to even create our own media in the first place leaves out the big elephant in the room, that their media is not representing us, even though we are Americans. So there's this fallacy that America represents Americans, and that's not true. America represents white Americans, and everybody else has to fend for themselves. And so that fallacy has to be exposed first for us to understand the importance of even having a media. Because you'll have people, Christians included, who will say, why can't you just be Americans? We're all one. And that would be the ideal situation. It's just not the truth. What has been represented instead is the white viewpoint of things, and everyone else's viewpoint that has that fend for themselves.
So all things considered, accepting everything you said as the reason why we're here, what responsibility do we have to change it?
First, to be aware of it, and then to start making conscientious moves accordingly. I would say one thing, and this is who I focus on a lot with the N Factory, our artists are still the ones creating the content. One thing that we misunderstand about us, especially as black people, we create cool. I mean, literally, from lingo to dress to hairstyles to everything, we create cool. We many times don't capitalize on it, but we create it. And so if we understood that fact alone, we could change the content that's coming out. There's a misconception, I don't know how old you brothers are, but there's a misconception that people simply don't want to hear conscious music. They don't want to hear positive music. I'm a living testament. 4 million copies of Arrested Development's album, all consciousness, all hip hop, white and black fans worldwide, tour the entire planet. millions of dollars made. It's a misconception. Public Enemy, millions of records sold, each record, so on and so forth. I can go down the line of the fact that people will love the diversity of music and content. Us artists have to just start putting it out there. And the more conscious we are of the war that's going on towards us or against us, the more conscious and purposeful we'll be when we get on the mic. We got to get on the mic with purpose. And I praise the evolution of artists like a Jay-Z or the brother from Philly, what's his Meek Mills, or so on and so forth, who have spoke up about prison reform, or Jay-Z on a lot of different issues. In fact, in all fairness, and I say this to people all the time, Jay-Z to me has come the furthest of all popular mainstream hip-hop artists that I've seen. He's come the furthest in that evolution. Like, he's come from quite a different storyline in the past, but has ended up marrying, sure, messing up in his marriage, which many men can do, but then repenting of that, getting back into the fold with that, having children, starting black businesses, being way more conscientious. Most of the freestyle rhymes he's been spitting lately have been about lyrics and, knowledge, I should say. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, he's usually trying to educate someone on financial stuff and stuff like that.
So now, real quick though, do you think things have changed, right? So,
of thought, and so when given that opportunity, I think they jump all on it.
That's good. That's good.
That's amazing,
man. So tell them how they can find the documentary, how they can find you.
Yeah, so you could get everything speech related at brotherspeech.com. And I'll just run down briefly what I do. So the N-Word Factory, 16 bars, both of those are documentaries. I also have a college scholarship fund. We've raised over $1 million. Oh, wow. It's called the Terrence Thomas Scholarship Fund. It's for black young.
Talk about the Victory Spot.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Today, right now, we're having our biggest day at Victory Spot. It's an art school that my queen and I started. Okay. I've been married for 23 years. My queen and I have this school for about 3.5 years. And it's a school that teaches thank you, Kevin, it teaches young kids how to be skillful at their art, but also remain dignified, like your mom was telling you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Very cool, man. Thank you, man, for coming. Hope we can hang out. Let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Wright, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Hey guys, this is Miracle from Trackstarz. I wanted to make sure you all know all about the official Trackstarz universe. If you'd like a free Trackstarz t-shirt, free merch, discounts, exclusive content, and direct access to your favorite radio hosts, then this is for you. Make sure to check out trackstarz.com/official.
So I posted on Facebook and I cannot fix it. I tried to put speech in there and it took development habitat. And it won't let me change it. It won't let me untag them.
Delete it.
It won't let me delete it either.
That's not possible.
I know, it's saying that I posted it as Ryan Moore. Oh. Yeah, and it won't let me delete it.
How long you been posting our show to your platform?
Let me see, 'cause it's definitely been some years.
It's been some years.
Oh, wow.
It's been.
And I'm the admin of your show, right? Your station on Facebook. Yeah, admin.
I sure did.
All right.
I know, every time the show posts.
We are back finally, guys.
This is entertainment report. I got two things to say at entertainment report.
Say it right after me. It's so great in here. Slave shipping a couple of minutes ago.
So did you find somebody else? But you've been here since what, Thursday? What'd you do yesterday?
How much time?
50 seconds.
And but I'm not mixing. I was trying to get a show for the morning.
Okay.
And I think we can level, so it took longer.
Oh.
Let me get my book out, take notes and check. Literally, I had said that you're I'm taking notes when I'm listening.
20 seconds.
If you weren't already doing Kingdom Crunk, we'd have to bring you on board to our team.
I thought about it at one time. I wanted to blog to go.
There's an offer there. We're talking about it.
So much going on.
All right, here we go. All right, man. Entertainment report time. Let's get it going. All right, man. Andy Mineo is dropping unreleased music with a podcast. Andy Mineo has announced that he will be releasing a series previously unreleased songs starting this week. The idea started a few days ago with Andy's manager claiming to log into his computer and releasing a snippet of the song named Keep It Moving, which features Governor B on Instagram. The demand for the song began. And then this week, Andy announced that he will be releasing the songs along with a podcast that will have behind-the-scene information about the song's creation process and more. He originally told us about that. Originally when we went to the Unashamed tour, and he was telling us about that, what he wanted to do and stuff like that. And he told me he had like a lot of songs on his hard drive. So be ready for that, man. It's gonna be pretty cool. All right, the preseason tour. Ryan kind of alluded to it earlier, but it will be here at our spot, May 17th, Atlanta. Culture Villains have been in the building. Rockstar JT, C9. Am I saying C9? C9, right? Sinai, okay.
Yeah.
One Day, Chris Noel, Rick Sincere, and many more. If you want tickets, www.culturevillains.com preseason tour. All right, CHH veteran KJ52 and our guy Poetics are teaming up to create the project What Happened Was project. It's also tied to the book that KJ has been releasing as well, promoted as a Kickstarter that he's got going as well. So be on the lookout for both of those as well, man. All right, Cop It section this week. Vic Sage, Broken Happy pre-order. Ruslan, Indy Jones 3 pre-order. J Monty, Testify Season 1. K Sade, Mita. S.O. Shine. Andy Mineo, Keep It Moving single. Social Club Misfit, Testify single. Brandon P, No Ref single. Joey Vontez, Legends Never Die single. And Mission, I Surrender single. And that's all for me. What you got, Ryan?
Yep, man. So just want to shout out 520 Collective. They are right now still doing the Bars Challenge, so make sure you get on that. It's a great opportunity. It's going down May 1st through May 14th, so we're on our last couple of days for you to be able to do it. All entries are due by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time on May 14th. You can use the below Dropbox link for the beat that includes the hook. Spit your best bars, all right? Upload your video to Twitter using hashtag Lions Den Challenge and at 520 Collective, CHH. 520 CHH. And the winner will be announced on May 20th. So it's a great opportunity. The package includes online PK to join offline PK, Osaze, and Jess Joseph on the Lions Den track, right? Social media, 520collective.com. Promotional package, 520. Official Spotify playlist placement. And the final song featured on the Lions Den EP. So make sure that you listen out for the 520 Collective. It drops on the 15th of the month. The new podcast. Shout out to Eric Boston and the team. Y'all are doing a great job, man.
Yes, sir.
I might have to do the Bars Challenge. Might.
Okay,
Might.
I'm getting a little
Yeah.
aggressive.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
You
I'm
can't
just
jump
kidding.
out the
Little
window.
aggressive.
They're gonna ask you.
Actually, I just want to be supportive of the team. That's it, man. That's it.
If you do one, I'll do one.
Oh, that's pressure right there. If Jasmine does one, I'll do one.
Oh, dang. Why you do that?
So you're supposed to say if Sean
Jasmine-
does it, you'll do one. So we just do the web, right? And then we finally get out to Mache. We're like, when Mache does the Bars Challenge, then we'll do it. And then if Kevin the Corner does it, right? So if all these people do the Bars Challenge, Ryan Righteous will jump on it
So
too.
you want us to all jump in the pool with you?
Yes.
Okay, I see.
Even though some can float, some can swim, and I can sing.
We just want to shout out our guests real quick. Kingdom Crunk Radio in the building. How you doing?
Yeah.
I'm great.
Cella-
I'm so happy to be here.
Celebrating a birthday this week,
happy
and you
birthday.
decided
Happy
to
birthday.
celebrate with us. So we appreciate what you do for the culture, for the kingdom of God, for what you've done to support Trackstarz all these years. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, I think it's since 2015.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got some.
I got some history.
You got some rough edits. Rough edit shows.
It's all
It's
good,
gotten
though.
better.
Had to
though,
start
right?
somewhere.
It's gotten better. Though. All right, man. Let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
This show is brought to you by Trackstarz. Allow us to produce a podcast to help build community engagement around your brand. We can record and edit a podcast specifically designed to reach your target market and utilize social media to create or enhance a loyal following. Go to trackstarz.com/brands. Again, that's trackstarz.com/brands.
They say you can't be beat out if you go first. Well, how hypocritical a Christian who can care less about what's second coming. I mean, the doubters tell me they don't go. That the people you be trying to reach have no idea what you're talking about? Well, you just left them in confusion. Because anybody can come up here and talk about what we got a problem with. I'm the only one that sends them a solution. Are you repping divine truth or are you set with the power rule? Nah, forget that. This little gimmick right here, he want to act slower. Y'all can adore this blood if you want. I'm still not going to let him pass over. Hey! Man, who cares what the cash is, son? He listing reasons why you getting knocked out in the first. Hey! One look at us and they can see that you dying. I'm living. If you a God, then I'm sinning. We both married to the mic, but you robbing. I'm giving. Cause over here we separate my God from promo. So if you don't want to hear about how my God is rose though, living inside my soul, bro. Pop the fofo, push rocks with Coco. Then niggas stop watching Loso.
What y'all thought, man? Class it away.
Bro, I told this man, I told Jeremiah time in, time out, bro, is Loso, Trackstarz, thank you for supporting me constantly, man, except for Jeremiah. He's doubting Thomas, man. He's doubting Thomas. Nah, I'm joking. Jeremiah, my brother.
Only thing I would have said is if he went second, like I told him to,
it would have been bad.
battle of the night. Battle of the night, right here. Battle of the night, right here. Battle of the night. And I'm saying it for a man who drove 600 miles to be here. Battle of the night. They all put in. That right there is what the trip.
Man, we go into the world. We here, bro.
Rose, and you're in the field with the Trackstarz.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right, this segment is sponsored by Nectar Distribution. Make sure you go out right now, Nectar Distribution. You can go to nectardistro.com. You can find out how you can get all of your music distributed to all the digital outlets. Also, we have the opportunity for you to do unlimited advertisement through Trackstarz Elite. So make sure you go out there and try to figure out, all right, if I'm putting out music, right, and I'm investing in all these different places and I put myself on social media, how do I get the best bang out of my buck? Well, we have a great opportunity for you with the Trackstarz video shorts that you just saw during the live show. If you're listening, we do a Trackstarz video shorts for you to be able to promote your content on the live show. It lives on YouTube for the remainder of the show. Great opportunity for you to get the word out about what you do.
All right, so a lot of you guys may have heard about Joyner Lucas's song "Devil's Work" caused some stir, and obviously you also heard Bizzle responded to it. So we're gonna dissect it. We're gonna do a dissect today. This time we're actually gonna play it because you got an edited version, right?
Plain version.
Supposedly. So let's go with that first.
Hopefully.
You know how they say clean, man. It's not super clean.
Clean it.
Father, forgive me. I'm staring at this Bible as I keep glancing. Dear Lord, I got questions and I need answers. I'm trying to understand your vision, all I see is damage. Just a bunch of dead bodies in the street camping. A bunch of lost souls on their feet standing. We supposed to be your children, I thought we family. You supposed to be my father, bro, I need answers. We don't need to die young, we just need chances. Tired of living on the edge, so we keep scrambling. Trying to talk to these strippers, but they keep dancing. We just want to be number one like Steve Francis. Bow our head saying prayer, now the seeds planted. Everywhere I turn, I'm seeing MCs vanish. Lot of good gone, I don't understand it. Lot of families lost and they seeds stranded. I ain't trying to disrespect you, I just need answers. I know you watching us from heaven thinking who to save. Cherry picking who should go next and who should stay. I'd be on my way to heaven if I knew the way. And bring back every good you choose to take. They say you never wrong, but you done made a few mistakes. Cause you taking the wrong, maybe you should trade. Trade us back all the real ones, remove the fakes. I think you should trade. Give us 2 pop back and take niggas shook. Let the legend resurrect and he gon' live for good. I be screaming thug life in every different hood. If only you can bring him back, Lord, I wish you would. Give us Biggie, give us Pun, give us Triple X. Take that Trump with you, that's a bigger threat. There's too much power for a coward with no intellect. That's a bigger with a collar, there's a disconnect. Dying, mama crying, grandma need a tissue. Shooting up a church, now I need a... All them still living, you don't see the issue. But how you take a leader, then you take a leader with you. I ain't trying to disrespect, just need a meter with you. I ain't trying to overstep, just want a reason with you. Give us back our loved ones and take the evil with you. Send them suckers straight to hell, they don't need a vigil. I need you to give us back Martin Luther. Take Martin Shkreli, give us back Malcolm. Take R. Kelly, R.I.P. Lil Snoop, get that boy's life back. Take Eric Holder, give us Eric right back. I'm sending you this message, Lord, I hope you hit me right back. They say I'm on the wrong train, I know I'm on the right track. Cause Trayvon gone and all he did was try to fight back. Zimmerman walk around free, we don't like that. Why you take our mothers from us? Fathers and our sisters and our cousins from us. Got these children getting murdered while they double dutching. Wondering why the take Nipsey Hussle from us. Damn, you took a true king, a true brother from us. A marathon, but they running from us. Now everybody got is up to something. And every gangster wanna prove that they tough or something. You know it's not fair, tell the truth. I've been in my feelings too. But if you took Emmett Till, at least take Dylan Roof. At least take James Holmes. I ain't even mad at that. Just bring back Whitney and give us Michael Jackson back. Feds want me and then slam it down. Ain't no justice for Sandra Bland. We up like a Salem fan. Lord, if you listen, I'm just looking for a hand in hand. Take out the and give us back our fam again. Drowning in my tears, trying to pray for something. Wonder why you give us life for you to take it from us. Wonder why you give us family, then erase it from us. Maybe, hopefully, you can have a conversation with us. Maybe I'm just probably tripping cause I need a hug. The hood can't find jobs, now we need a plug. Everybody and their mama trying to be a thug. I don't go to church cause I'm afraid of being judged. I've been staring at the ceiling as I lie in bed. Watch it follow trends like Simon says. I pray you give us back the real ones and try again. Or maybe take the that deserve to die instead. Tommy Lauren run her mouth and then she get defensive. Lauren Ingram laughing at death and disrespecting. I really feel like you should teach them stupid a lesson. Either that or give us back somebody who deserved the blessings. I left out a bunch of names that I forgot to mention. Cost too much to pay attention and it got expensive. Father, forgive me for I know not what I do, and now I'm reaching out to you hoping you hear me and return the message. I know that you got our back and that you're not against us. Or maybe you just love us so you detest us. I just kinda thought that you would do more to protect us. They say the good die young and I ain't on the guest list. I've been drinking, Lord, forgive me as my blood racing. I don't know what I'm thinking, I'm just frustrated. I don't mean to question you, I'm just confused. I don't know what else to do. I've been patient and it sucks waiting. Took my mans from me, that forever hurts. But putting the blame on you, that'll never work. I know this ain't your fault, it's the devil's work. Devil's work.
All right, so that was Joyner Lucas. Got a lot of attention. Got retweeted by Rihanna, and all these people were like, "Oh yeah, this is it, right?" So before we play Bizzle's response to that, what was your reaction to? Is that the first time you heard it?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your reaction to what he said in the song?
It was interesting. I mean, you hear a lot of. Well, first of all, we know as Christians we don't question God, right? So we understand that everything God does is on purpose, by purpose, and for purpose. So coming from a Christian standpoint, I listen to it and I'm like, you're wrong, you know. Coming from a worldly standpoint, I hear what he's saying.
So real quick, you said as a Christian you don't question God.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
So when I think about this, I go all the way back to Job, right? And God is like, you weren't there when I hung the stars and the moon, so what do you know, right? To me, it's the same thing. We have 100 years, maybe 100 years plus on this earth, and we don't find all the answers, and we can't figure out God.
Is it wrong to question God, meaning like, God, I don't understand, why are you doing this? Are you saying it's wrong to ask him questions at all?
I think to me this sounds more like you put God on blast. Like you're telling the world how he was wrong in his approach. Like you're like, hey God, you were wrong for taking Nipsey Hussle, and you should have took Suge Knight instead, right? Like I think it's crazy. So to me, that's when I hear that, I'm just like, yeah, you can't really say that.
Okay, interesting. What you think?
When I first heard it, this wasn't the first time I heard it. When I first heard it, the main thing that came to my mind was, man, this dude's hurting. Like I kind of like, I felt him. I also see where he's coming from. Like I get like, he lost people he cared about, or he lost people that he sees. He is kind of like playing judge, like kind of like what Ryan was saying. He is definitely playing judge because it, really some people in our society, we can like try to label this person's good, this person's bad. When really, in reality, according to our worldview, Christian worldview, we're all sinful, and so really ain't nobody really better than somebody else. But the main thing that stuck out to me was like, dog, I felt this brother, like, because I've lost people too, and like I've had questions that I've asked God, like, why did this happen? Why did I lose this person? Why did my dad get diagnosed with cancer, et cetera, et cetera? And it's like, at the end of the day, though, I do have peace knowing that I don't have all the answers, and he is ultimately in control. And the foundation of all that is love. Like he, regardless of what it looks like, he still loves me, and I don't all the way understand, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't seem like he's okay with that right now, not understanding, but I pray that he does get to that point, because when you do seek God and you fix your eyes on him and dedicate yourself to finding the answers to these questions, he's either going to answer them or he's going to give you peace knowing that I still love you even if you don't have the answers, even if I don't give you the answers. So, but I felt him, like heartfelt him, like I felt him.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's great. Not great, but I think it's good when you do have questions for God. Like, because to me, it makes you feel like, I don't know what it either is going to make you trust him or run away from him. So I think for him, it was an honest response. And then, like, I remember, to be honest, I remember after I saw this, I posted, and I said, is CHH going to respond? Like, I remember tweeting that. And somebody said it, like, no, CHH don't really need to respond because he closes it at the end like this isn't.
He tried to fix it
at the end, saying this is the
which is the same thing Christian rappers do too.
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
They'll flip a song and make it Christian at the end.
So I think at the end of the day, I think he's in a good place. But the question is he talking to somebody? Because when you have questions like that, do you find somebody to talk to, or do you just continue to keep them inside? Because when you keep them inside, or you're frustrated about something that God is doing in your life that you don't see nothing happening, do you talk to people? Because when you don't talk to them, that's when it burns you up inside, and that's when you can either become bitter, angry, and continue to go deeper and deeper into your situations with God.
You know what it reminds me of? John Gibbs. His album sounded like this. Like, God, what? Like, I don't understand this. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. It feels like it's coming from that place. What do you think?
So this is really interesting to me because. So I feel like I've been in that place before, but like even like I guess back in March we lost someone who was really close to us at our church. She was like major to everybody. I don't know if you ever had that. It's like this one person who can make everybody feel like they had a special place. Yeah. And for me, for some reason, a lot of older women are drawn to me to like a mother figure, and I have a biological mother and a stepmother. We don't really use that term, but who I'm really close to. But for some reason, I have this bond with older women as well. So 3 older women that I was really close to passed from November to March. So while I was sitting in that last funeral, I was like, God, like I really don't understand why it seems like all of the great people, you're taking all the great people and you leave me here with these crazy people. And I promise you, sitting in that pew right after my bishop gave her eulogy, the tears just started flowing because I heard the Holy Spirit say to me, because you see all these people that showed out, this is because a lot of people don't find me through the word and through coming to church. They find me through other people. So the people I'm taking, they need to see that these are the lives. I want you to aspire to be like them, to show the love that they showed to get this outpouring. So that really, that kind of really is why I was feeling him. Like, I understand where he's coming from, but like Jeremiah was saying, like, are you talking to someone? Yeah. Because I know for me, because I am in my word, when I ask questions, you know, I can hear or I receive, even if it's like something through like me asking a question and then you guys have a topic and it's like, oh wow, I didn't even think about it from that perspective. Right, yeah. I get my answers, but if he's not in his word, he might not be getting the answers. Right. Or if he's not talking to someone who can direct him. And it's crazy because people also say like, oh, like he was saying he doesn't want to go to church because he doesn't want to be judged. But you on social media, right? Right. Oh, you gonna be judged there, bro. You know?
That's real.
So, and you know, a lot of times people don't want to, but the church is a hospital. And I think we have held it to a certain kind of stand. We should have standards, but a lot of times people go to church looking for everyone to be perfect. And the church is a hospital. When you go to the hospital, you're going to have broken arms, broken hearts, but we're there to fix it and to fix it together. So.
I think the end is interesting. He says, I've been drinking, Lord, forgive me. It's my blood racing. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just frustrated. I don't mean to question you. I'm just confused. I don't know what else to do. I've been patient and it sucks waiting. Took my mans from me that forever hurts, but putting the blame on you, that'll never work. I know this ain't your fault. It's the devil's work. Now, to me, that was a great way to clean it up, right? Because I think what he's saying is, this is just me out of frustration. I don't really mean this. I know it's not your fault. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, this is how it feels to me right now. So to me, that, like, if this was a prayer that he had between him and God, to me, it feels like a real prayer. Sounds like a Job prayer or Jonah prayer, or, you know what I mean? So that doesn't bother me necessarily if he really had this conversation back and forth with God. Do you agree with his conclusion? He said, it's not your fault, it's the devil's work. Everything he said in the song, is it the devil that's taking these people, or is it actually God? So play Bizzle response. He's speaking as God. So we'll react to that.
Joiner, I hear you going through some things and it's getting tough, but I see you got my word with you. It's a shame how the pain only thing make you pick it up. And you complain when it rains just once, but I never hear thanks for that 100 days with the sun. Coulda ran to me first, ran to the drink first, and now I gotta have this conversation with you when you drunk. See, before I even start addressing it, I don't owe you any answers, so don't get used to it. But I feel like you being genuine. But the truth is you can't handle the truth, Lucas. But you kept it a buck and I love that. If I kept it a buck back, could you take what you stepping in? I know it's other folk that feel like you. So first thing I'ma do is let you know who you questioning. I am the God who created the earth. I knew you start feeling yourself, so I made you from dirt. Ain't no battery in your body, so who making it work? I made the earth perfect, it's y'all making it worse. Who put the seed in the fruit, put the fruit in the tree, and that tree in another little seed but me? Then turn around and made you the same way after that. For you was in your daddy's sack and his daddy's sack. I am the one that put breath in your lungs and created the same mind that you question me from. You were lost, I'm the way, I'm the potter, you the clay, and now the clay got something to say. Okay, you can never check me, so check this. Your standard for right and wrong is me. I am the checklist, I am right. Wrong is whatever you're left with. I am life, you without me is what death is. I am the judge, you answer me. If I throw lightning, who throws it back at me? Nobody. And if all this falls, who can stand but me? You go to the cross before you cross-examine me. You say I made mistakes, you mistaken me. You made gods out of men who were clay to me. You put lives over lives that you ain't create, then feel away cause all flesh the same to me. What if some of the people you naming to me wasn't really everything that you made them to be? Or worse, what if they are and I take them with me? Are you telling me it's any better place they could be? Either way, you don't know, you just gotta push through. Cause while you over here saying what I should do, somebody lost somebody last week and came at me the same way saying I should've took you. You asked why the good die young, but the truth is none of y'all are good, not one. The only one ever been good's my son, so to answer your shit, the good died once. Jesus. What if I told you to choose when your mom died? You think you could choose when your mom dies? If you put it off 20 years away, 20 years later when that day came, would you not cry? You couldn't be God, you are not I. My ways are not yours, your thoughts are not mine. You can't even deal with the pressure of your own life when you're not high. Try looking in the God mind. See, I love them more than you ever did, more than you ever could. Death doesn't lessen it. Let my own son meet death as the evidence, and I love them all rap star to the president. The real question is, what you living like? If I punish every sin, would you live tonight? So how you get mad when I get them other folks same chances I give you to get it right? You got a son that one day will be a man. You expect him to trust you and he don't understand or even know what you up to. Cause he knows that you love him, right? So trust that I love you.
Okay, so that was Bizzle. In response. Now here, I'm gonna tell you my interaction with these two songs. I didn't hear Joyner Lucas' song first. I heard Bizzle's song first. Somebody sent it to me. They were like, yo, did you hear what Bizzle said? So I clicked the link and I listened to it. And I was like, yo, what happened? Like, why is he so, like, why is he responding this way? It seems so harsh, you know? And so I listened to it. I'm like, okay. Like, it was dope.
Yeah, it is.
And then I went back and listened to Joyner's, and I was like, oh, I see what he did. Okay, so what he did was he took the Job approach, right? If you read through Job, and if you know what happened with Job is Satan comes before God and says, it's like challenging, his authority, whatever. And God says, well, what about Job? He follows me. He's good. He does all the right things. He's faithful. Yeah. And he's like, well, he's only faithful because you give him stuff. Like, He's like, all right, well, take whatever you want from him. He takes his stuff, takes his kids, his livestock, whatever. Still faithful. Never curses God. Never says anything to God. Then he says, well, he's healthy. You know what I mean? Like, he personally wasn't affected by any of it. All right, we'll take his health. So he got crap all over him. Terrible, right? Now Job starts to feel it. You know what I mean? Like, he's starting to be like, oh, man. He still doesn't curse God, but he's like, oh, man. And all his friends come and talk to him and try and give him advice. And all the time you're reading it, I know I referenced this in the song I did, Abandon, where I read this I read Job over and over again because I was going through similar things. And I'm like, yo, I don't understand why you're doing this to me. Why are you doing this? It doesn't make any sense. Kind of like what you were saying. And the answer in Job was very confusing to me. After all this, he has all these friends that tell him all this advice. When you're reading it, you're like, sounds legit to me what they're saying, right? But then you find out that they were all wrong. So I'm like, yo, what they say that was so wrong, right? So you read through it, and then he gets one last friend that comes and tells him something. Then God steps in. And what would you have expected God to say? You maybe comfort, be like, hey, it's going to be all right. No, God's like, yo, do you know who I am? Is it Kevin Durant? You know who I am? He's like, I did this, I did that. The only reason you got this is because of this, and I did that, and he just reads him his rights. God is like letting him have it, right? And you're like, oh, why did you respond to him like that? And you realize, like, the reason he did it is because this guy forgot his place. Like, anything you called blessing is from me. It's like, you didn't deserve any of it. Yeah. And I think that's where people lose God. That's where they lose it, because they somewhere along the way they think they deserve some of the stuff they have. They think they don't see it as a complete absolute grace and blessing that they're even alive, right? They don't even see it that way anymore. They've lost that fear of God, right? And I think God is reestablishing, like, no, you can't complain to me at all. Like, you realize that I could crush you and it won't even matter. I won't even have to apologize to nobody. You see what I'm saying? I'm God. So I think that was what Bizzle was coming back with. It's like a graceful, like, let's reestablish this relationship. I don't think you understand what this is, right? Yeah. And I think the points he brought up were actually really good. They were challenging. And the one all throughout it was challenging. But then when he came to the one that it hit me the most. Yeah. What if you could choose when your mom died? Yeah. And I thought it was bold to say to somebody you don't know like that, right? Yeah. But he said, what if you could choose when your mom died? And he said, if you pick a date 20 years from now, aren't you still going to cry when it happens? Like, it's always going to hurt. Yeah. No matter when Aaliyah or Tupac or it was always going to hurt. They all have to die. Yeah. So you think I chose the wrong time? When would you have chose? And you realize it's like, I would have never, like, I don't want any, but that's how it works. They all, and the second thing is recontextualizing. Why do you think that they're in a worse situation? You're in a worse situation than them. I took them. They're mine. I put them where I wanted them to be. So I think reframing the whole conversation as you're choosing people you happen to like, but like he said, there's people that don't like you that wish the same on you. You're wishing death on all these people that you don't like. But why are you the one that decides who's right and who's wrong in this situation? To me, it was a brilliant way to dissect it, and the fact that it was lyrically sound and all the punchlines were strong.
You think Jonah heard it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think so. I think what I'm starting to notice about social media is that space anybody can figure out or hear or learn, right? I think a lot of things that we say, our dissects and our line for lines, I think they've been heard by the artists that we've mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Do they care? Probably not. But but I think that he possibly has heard it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah. Also, to me, it feels like he had to have heard this, right? Because social media is buzzing, and all you need is just one person in your camp to be like, yo, did you hear this, that, and the other? Now, they might not still care, right? But I think Bizzle made a name for himself when he came after Jay-Z the first time, and I think people are on radar for Bizzle. So I think, it's most likely a possibility that they heard it.
Here's the thing. This reminded me of, I've been in the Christian hip-hop business for a couple years now. So this reminded me of Dear Slim. Y'all remember Dear Slim with KJ? Like KJ wasn't dissing Eminem, but he was stating out stuff that would make you think about what you're talking about and stuff like that. I think Bizzle's made Jordan Lucas, if he did hear it, like, I can't, like, one thing, it was so dope when he said something about the president and rappers, like, yo, basically, just because, like you said earlier, like, just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean that
God loves him.
God loves him. You know what I mean? Like, you
He
like
loves Donald Trump like crazy.
How can he love Trump like that when he's doing this foolishness?
Yeah,
it's like,
because
no,
he
that's
loved you when
unconditional.
you were foolish, and you probably still are.
Yeah, so I think that's Bizzle did it so perfectly. Like, it wasn't like he was like, I had to come to the Job experience and even the Jonah experience of you got to do, like, with the Job was like, hey, I am God. Yeah. You shouldn't question what I do. You know what I mean? And then even like going into depths of, hey man, you like that bar about the 20 years thing, what you talking about a parent, like, that's crazy to think about it. Like, you're still going to mourn regardless of when the Lord takes somebody.
Yeah, so
from
why is this time worse than the next time? It's all bad.
Yeah,
you know?
and then what is it about my presence is better than, like, what if me bringing people to God, bringing people to heaven is more better than what's the name? But here's the question though. This is a very good question. Are those people in heaven?
I don't know. And maybe
interesting.
Unless I think he assumes they are.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he would
because
be
he based off his moral judgment, everybody are good.
Everybody who's good to him is in
heaven.
Yeah. And that's usually that's hip hop theology.
Yeah.
We need to do a hip hop theology segment. What does hip hop believe about God? Because there's a lot of stuff that's wrong, and a lot of it unfortunately came from pastors, and it's still wrong.
Yeah.
And that
people believe Christian, Muslim, 5%, atheism. It's so much people, so much artists in hip hop that believe so many things. So it's like, that's would be a great conversation in hip hop theology. Like, what do people believe in hip hop? You know what I mean?
The difference between hip hop is one of the things I see differently in hip hop is that hip hop does weigh sin. There is a better or a worse sin in hip hop. Like, they just think that, oh, if you didn't kill anybody, even though you did all these other terrible things, you must still need to be, lifted up.
Or not even that. Just thinking about, like, when he was going back to on Jordan Lucas, just thinking about, like, the people he highlighted that he thought was good people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
and depending if Jordan Lucas was the judge, depending on when he made this song, R. Kelly was in or out of heaven. Because if he made this song a couple months ago, R. Kelly wouldn't have been on this list. He's only reacting to the press.
Yeah.
So it's like, dang, you have no right to judge this because you are real finicky about that. Because based on his time, you didn't know R. Kelly been doing all this stuff. Would you have said this last year?
Yeah.
So the thing is God is the only one that sees everybody's heart. Yeah. He's the only one that knows who's really accepted him or not. You have no idea what's really happening at all. But the point is that, and I think this comes back to the hardest thing, and even in Christianity, a lot of people don't understand, is Romans 9. Is I make I make some clay into pots for flowers, and I make some into trash cans. Like, I can do whatever I want. I think we don't like that truth.
Yeah.
I don't think we really like the fact that he can do whatever he wants with us. We have no inalienable rights to anything.
Yeah.
I think we feel like we do.
Yeah.
And we don't. And any good you experience at all is complete grace.
Yeah. It hurts us to know that truth. It doesn't really, it's not one thing whether we like it or we don't like it. It hurts us to know the truth. Like when that line came up, I thought about my situation and I was thinking, yeah, there's no right time for this, right? There's no right time for this. So it does hurt us to know that, man, unfortunately, if I could paint a perfect picture, I would, but I can't. So
I think it also shows that we have fallen in love with the world. We see this place as a nice place. We see this as heaven. And if we get enough money, we can make our heaven here. And God is like, this is not heaven. Where I am is heaven. You see what I'm saying? And I think we don't see this world as a battlefield anymore. We don't see it as an assignment. We're ambassadors in a foreign land. I think we have made this land our own now. We're good. Like, hey, God, you ain't got to come back. You ain't got to do nothing else. We're good. As long as, like, give me some money, I'm straight. And I think we're losing perspective of what this is really about.
We're like one of the churches in Revelation. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, and it's not just an American thing. This is the part of the world thing where it's just like when you're doing so good, even as a Christian, sometimes when you're doing so good, you feel like
it's like you don't want to say, well, God, make it worse so I could get back to you know what I mean? You don't want to say that, but unfortunately our prosperity and doing well has made us soft. Like our faith is soft. And I think but I also want to say, if I was talking to Joyner, if this was a sincere expression, I think he's asking good questions.
I
don't want to discourage that. This is a good conversation to have with God if that's what you feel. But be prepared for the answer, and the answer would sound a lot like what Bizzle just did. Who are you? And I think if we come down to the fact that who are we? I think we assume we are. There is an answer to that. There is. We are nothing.
I think it's a sense of entitlement. It's funny because you said something earlier, and I was thinking like before, like, oh, this new up and coming generation, they just have such a sense of entitlement. But I go to work and there's people older than me, and it seems like you said, everybody has a sense of entitlement. Like, you just owe me this. You just, God just has to give me this. Oh, I didn't cuss this week. I should have got blessed. I should have gotten a blessing. Like, people just feel like something is owed to them. And I think that has a lot to do with what Sean was saying. Like, our faith is not as strong as it should be.
Yeah, man. So, well, hopefully that helps. Let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
You are listening to the Trackstarz with Sean Tanner, Ryan Righteous, and DJ Jeremiah.
Right now, you're in the field with the Trackstarz.
Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, and DJ Jeremiah.
Right now, you're listening to the Trackstarz.
You know what time it is.
Hey, yo, what's good? It's your boy Name It Gay, Trackstarz music artist.
Before you and I were ever called to be doctors or lawyers or to be teachers or preachers, God called you to worship God. God called you to worship Him. God called you to be a worshiper.
Oh yeah, I'm living. They keep my name and name out like a Dennis. I'm trying to crush all that hate and division. They used to sleep on me, not see the vision. Please do not come me, don't want your opinion. I ain't live this kind of life in a minute. I see the goal in the love me, they say that I'm their motivation. I'm their motivation. I'm their motivation. Love me, they say that I'm their motivation. I'm their motivation. I'm their motivation. Love me, they say that I'm their motivation. I'm their motivation. I'm their motivation. Lord, forgive you, boy. I know I was a hard head, running around soaking game.
That's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem.
520 Collective, where music meets ministry and the indie artist takes center stage.
Take
take a ride through my old town. Old me, old Sean, might need boats, cry oceans. Here float down my old child fear. So broke, no hope round here. Been trying to cope since like 01. Better slow down for your cosign, you might owe Sean.
What's going on? It's Sean David Grant. Check out my debut album, Wonder Years. Follow the journey of a young, shy kid just trying to make his way in the world through some of the hardest times, but finding victory on the other side. With features from Eshawn Burgundy, Mouthpiece, and production from PK One Day, Cobra, and Cardic Drums. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. Listen right now by clicking the link below.
Once without a sense of what it meant until it lens. What have I done? I got my one shot. Bet aim only my body drops.
Like putting together topics that flow and trying to keep from making every word rhyme together. Like this is not easy. Yeah. I don't know. I want to check though.
Y'all ready?
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Erica Mason, a.k.a. Mrs. Pretty and Radical, and you are in the field with the Trackstarz. Yes, sir?
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Rachel, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. What's good?
All right, for all things Trackstarz, visit www.trackstarz.com. Follow us on Instagram @Trackstarz, Twitter @Trackstarz. Like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and download the app. All right?
Okay, so I'm glad we have some ladies at the table.
Me too. Amen.
So recently, Aisha Curry made some news. She was on Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith, and said something that kind of got a lot of people talking. So let's play it, and I want to hear y'all's reaction.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Cool.
I got it. All right, let's do it.
And like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, yeah, like there are all these women like throwing themselves, But me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, this sounds weird, but like male attention. And so then like I begin to internalize it and I'm like, is something wrong with me?
You're not looking.
What,
You're not
like,
looking. You're not even. But I'm gonna tell you something else too. When your radar's turned off, because I dealt with that for years too. Like, and I was young, like you.
Yeah,
like
that's
oh my
not
God.
fair.
I mean,
because I don't want it, but
Yeah.
it'd be nice to know that like someone's looking.
But
That
when
could
your
get
radar's
dangerous.
turned off, right?
That
You're
could get
beautiful.
real
Don't
dangerous.
ever think for 1 minute that it ain't no some men out there looking at you like I wish.
Honestly.
And I'm gonna tell you who knows that more than anybody.
Your husband. And on
All right. So if you couldn't hear it, basically what she said was, Jada was talking about groupies. Like, how do you deal with your guys having groupies and whatnot? And Aisha said, you know what? Sometimes I feel like, it's not fair because nobody's really looking at me. I wish I knew that I still had it. I wish I still got it. And basically, it would be nice to know I was still desirable. I don't want anything. I just would like to know because I don't feel like I'm desirable right now. So that got a lot of backlash from women and men all over the place saying like, "What you thirsty? You got a good man and you complaining and blah blah blah." Right? So what was your reaction to what she said?
Did y'all see Steph's reaction?
I'm gonna do that next.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know how you would.
I didn't know Steph reacted.
Yeah. You want to hear what he said?
Yeah, let's do him first.
Oh, okay.
All right. So Steph said this. He said, he did an Instagram story. Proud of you for being authentic and putting yourself out there, not being afraid of the potential BS and nonsense that could and did come at you. Way more positive than negative with all of this. Keep being you. I love you.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say, right? When I was listening to that, I can relate to what she's going through because when you're a child and you have an insecurity and no matter how many times you're told, hey, you're this, you're that, you still hear those voices from childhood. I can tell you the person. I can tell you where I was sitting in the classroom. I can tell you everything when a girl looked at me and was just like, I would never talk to you. You're ugly. And I had acne, braces, and glasses. Right. And so that's what I'm saying. Like right now, for me to still know that, for me to still remember and close my eyes and see that picture like it was yesterday, that's an insecurity. And so I think in her mind, she's feeling the same way. I think everybody would want to hear that they're special, that they are this, that they're that, the other, no matter who it comes from. If it's a family, I work in a program where they need affirmation all the time. The young adults we work with, they need affirmation. And I'm not their father, and I'm not their uncle, and I'm not their brother, but they still need to hear that affirmation. So we as husbands and spouses, we have to do that affirmation for our support. Because it's needed. I mean, even to this day, I still need it, and that's just because I still hear those voices in the back of my head, even though I truly believe my wife looks at me and feels great things about me, so I understand where she's coming from.
When I first saw it, I first saw the backlash. I didn't see what she said at first.
Me too.
And I really didn't. I personally did not like how people came at her because they came at her super sideways after she was just being honest. And, like, people assume that, and I'm not married, so I don't know this, but people assume like because you're married to a celebrity, then everything's great, everything's peachy king. But at the same time, from what I gather, Aisha is saying like, I am my own person, and so she may feel like she's under the shadow of her husband, which I feel like many women who are married to public figures may feel that way, and. She has a husband that affirms her, and it's very obvious. But I appreciate her honesty because regardless of that, she was being honest and saying, I mean, hey, I would, even though I wouldn't act on it, it would be nice to have a little male attention. And I think she's comparing it to the female attention her husband gets. I feel like maybe if her husband didn't get all the female attention, she wouldn't be like, well, where's my male attention? You know what I'm saying? So, but she was being honest, and it started a conversation. I just wish people more so would have, instead of assuming and like giving her backlash, kind of just like, okay, we hear you, and like kind of affirmed her. They did at the table talk, I think, what it seems like, but I just didn't like how people came at her like sideways. That was cool.
Let's be real. Aisha Curry is a target for certain women. Certain women don't like Aisha Curry. From stuff she said in the past about modesty and being fully clothed. And we had a topic about that a couple of years ago where Rick was in here and then y'all went back and forth and everything like that. So that stems from that. So when she said what she said, I think at the same time it's like, you don't want to say that out loud. You may want to say that amongst your girlfriends and your friends or whatever.
She was.
Yeah.
She forgot the camera was
on. Probably.
Wait, is that what really happened?
Yeah. So I think that's what one thing happened. But I think I don't know. I think I've been hearing different people talk about this whole since this happened. And then somebody was like, imagine if a man said, imagine Steph Curry was there with Will Smith and said, yo, man, I wish I can get some attention on it. And his wife would have been pretty upset about that probably. Like, what are you doing? So I think at the same time, it's just like, she has the right to feel that way. And I'm glad he backed her up and in front of the public. You know what I mean? Behind closed doors, we don't know if they went out. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm glad he publicly said, hey, keep feeling the way you're feeling. I'm supporting you, XYZ, because you don't want to look divided in the public. Behind closed doors is something different. You handle that, but in public, you don't want to be like, "What you doing?" You know what I mean? So I think I'm glad he handled that. But I think for us, I think the people were hard on her because it was like, you have a good man. Why would you want that attention? Why would anybody, if you're in a good relationship with somebody, you're in a good marriage with somebody, why would you want that attention? It's still like, somebody said this and it was really good. They said this was almost like the Martin episode when he had his ring in the gym and he was just like, I want to just take it off to see if I still got it. And she wants to know if she still got it. Is that good? Yay, nay, you know what I mean? Because some people want to feel like they're still somebody.
But this is not a new concept. I've seen this in sitcoms several times. I remember in King of Queens, there was a scene where he went and talked to some construction workers outside near their house. It was like, hey, can you kind of, say some dirty stuff to my wife when she passes by? Because she was feeling self-conscious and nobody liked her. Same exact situation, right?
Yeah.
And then when she came in, she was happier and all this kind of stuff. So I think this is not a new concept. Now, this reaction you guys are having is not the reaction. I'm gonna get in trouble. But my wife did not have this reaction. She was like, "What? Why would she say that?" Like that. She was so confused.
And Maya had my first before Maya saw before she saw the actual Red Table Talk. She was like, "That doesn't make sense. She needs public relations help. Like somebody needed to tell her, like, don't say certain things." But at the same time, she was in a moment.
But what's interesting is my wife. Again, I'm gonna get in trouble. She almost got upset with me I was like, what's the big deal? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I literally was like, why are people talking about this? I was so confused as to why this was a big deal. And I understand why maybe it's a big deal to some people. I don't understand why the world cared about this so much. Like, what different? I thought this was like common thing that women they have celebrity crushes and hall passes with certain people they wish they could be with. I thought this was like, why are they? And what came to my mind was the reason this may be a big deal to women in general is they see her as the good Christian girl married to the good Christian man. What do you have anything to complain about? You're supposed to be the model for what we should be doing, and you're wanting other guys to like you. Like, I think it's really because of her image of being a wife, a mom, a cook, like homely type thing. They see her as, you should be above that.
Yeah.
I don't think and I said this to my wife. I was like, if this was LeBron's wife, would anybody care?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, because here's the thing, and that's why I kind of started the way I started. Because she's already getting criticism for the modesty thing.
Yeah,
she's getting that criticism from other women, especially and we kind of had a conversation about the Amber Rose type girls. Like, I could wear what I want to wear, and that's on him. You know what I mean? So she's been getting backtracked like for years.
But this seems like the opposite problem.
It is the opposite.
But I'm thinking for them same women are like probably thinking like, well, you got a good man. I'm trying to find a man. You got a good man. You trying to get somebody. You want somebody to slide in your DMs for real?
What it sounds like is when she made the comment about modesty, right? Like, I only show up at the right times for the right person. It's almost kind of like you walking it back and saying, oh, I wish I was showing more so people would pay me more attention, right? That's the problem.
I mean, attention is the thing.
Yeah,
right here.
attention is the thing. But also with people, what I think people are missing is the vulnerability that she was coming from. Like, she was coming from an insecure place or at a moment, right? Just having another child and things of that nature. And you got to give you've got to give grace to that. You can say things in a point where you're when you're vulnerable that you might want to walk back later, or you might not really feel all the way. But then again, you have the same person affirming you, and you start to think, you're just telling me that.
Yeah.
You're just telling me that.
Because think about, okay, you Steph, for example, last night goes crazy. The world is talking about Steph Curry came alive. He killed the Rockets. This.
Yeah.
He's getting attention at a normal rate. And what he do last night? You saw in his where he talked at the end, like,
Lord Jesus Christ.
Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like he's like his focus is not like, yo, I want this. It's like I want to do well so my team can win. I want us to win as a team. So I'm thinking this is like, and then sometimes and I can't speak because I'm not a lady. So it's like you're around children all day. You don't feel your best. You may not.
Yeah.
You may not feel, or you may feel a certain way, and him giving you that attention is great, but at the same time, it's still a difference between somebody that's supposed to love you versus somebody who's like.
So is it attention or affirmation though? That is the
No.
thing here.
So
like we're saying attention, but it's her. I don't want to say issue, or it's her insecurity that she needs affirmation, or is that her love language?
We'll look at it like this: when Steph Curry lost to LeBron, right, in the finals a couple of years ago. She probably told him, you had your best game. You did your best. You did your best. But the world is saying, man, you blew it. You didn't do whatever. Right? Because she's going to tell him that. But like you said, he went off last night.
E&R. The R&E.
He did. Oh, I said something crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. So he did his best last night, right? He killed it. He feels that affirmation.
It's on topic, though.
He feels that affirmation from the world. You see what I'm saying? He feels that affirmation from the world. Like all the sports channels and commentators are talking about, man, Steph Curry came alive last night. He killed it. But what's going to happen when he goes back and has another bad game? Because earlier this week they were saying he wasn't shooting good.
Yeah,
right?
he wasn't.
So
he wasn't.
She's at home giving him affirmation like, you tried your best. And he's like, I didn't try my best. You tried your best. I didn't try my best. The world is saying I didn't try my best. But now that he's actually gone out there and the world is giving him affirmation, she's saying it, but now he believes it because
you're saying she needs it more from him?
She needs it more from him, but she also is probably saying that you're still going to get affirmed by the world at some point. I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
But who's to say she's not like with her gift, like her cooking show, her her restaurant.
This is what I got from this. I think she personally wants to stand out on her own. I don't think she wants to be Steph Curry's wife.
Not being a shadow,
Yeah, she wants her cooking thing to go well. She's doing like makeup, olive olay or something, some commercials.
Maybelline,
I think something.
Yeah.
And I think she's feeling like, how come nobody says anything about me? Like it's always Steph's wife. I think she's feeling that and if she's right, because they explain how like he has groupies and Steph is really nice and he may not see that the girl is trying to get with him and and she has to step in and do the whole thing. Maybe she is subconsciously comparing herself to the women that step to him.
Yeah.
And maybe she doesn't feel like she measures up to what she's seeing, that he has the world at his disposal. Why would he want me? That could be what she's dealing with. And I do believe her that she doesn't want anyone to actually come for her. She just wants to know, maybe I'm still special and I still am worthy of him.
I think that's good. My mind goes, you don't want to give the devil that foothold though.
Exactly.
Because and I think another topic comes out of this is, are men more respectful for a wife than a woman is a husband?
Here's the real problem, and this is what she doesn't want to really know, because what you would have expected to happen was a bunch of dudes being like, yo, I think.
And that's what did happen.
I didn't see it.
No.
I didn't see it.
It's a mind thing right now. They're gonna come out at the next basketball game.
But I'm just saying,
she's gonna drop something and he's gonna be like, oh.
It felt to me like a compliment fish, right? Or you're like, nobody really looks at me, and what you expect to happen is, I think, and it happened on the show.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's happening in the real world.
You don't think it's happening on her Instagram?
A lot of what I saw was exactly what she was afraid of. That's what I saw.
Or backlash.
It's because blah blah blah, and listing all the things they don't like about her. So I think that's what she's feeling, and I think saying it is going to make it worse. because I saw a lot of negative stuff from guys after that. It wasn't
on
like
her appearance.
It wasn't like, yo, you're fine. I think you're fine. It was the opposite.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about her because it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And also, there are going to be some people who are going to be like, well, you asked for it. So here's the, I'm going to DM this and that. That's going to happen too. But if she was already worried about her appearance or not feeling like she was worth anything, this is probably going to destroy her, because the stuff I saw come back, that's why I think Steph had to come out and say something, because she was getting destroyed.
Yeah.
She was getting destroyed by women and men.
Yeah. I think also at the end of the day, the people that's talking about, you got a good man, why you you just want attention, etc. I mean, if we really look at it, just being tedious, is like there are still women that are out there who, and I'm not saying Christian or not Christian or whatever, I'm just saying there's still women out there who married to a good man, but still they put on makeup, they do all of these things as far as their appearances, and some is for their own, but also some is to gain some attention. Like when they go out, they wear something nice, they like to be complimented. So at the end of the day, people like to be affirmed, they like to be complimented, they like to be talked about in a good way.
Yeah.
So the same like women that's like coming at her like that, I'm pretty sure they not walking out the house with, in sweats and all the time, every day, no makeup, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like to a certain degree, we do things daily in our appearances and how we carry ourselves and we like to get complimented. Oh, your hair looks great. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make a point.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was done.
If this was Russell Wilson and Ciara, would this be a big deal?
I don't know.
This was Russell. Why? Like, what's the difference?
No, I'm just asking because, I mean,
she's already an icon. His wife is already like a
okay.
Icon.
So we're based off what she just said is more. It's not even attention. It's affirmation.
I think Ciara was already famous before she got with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Aisha is only famous because of Steph Curry. And I think that's what she's feeling. I think she's feeling like maybe if he didn't know me, he would have gotten with somebody that he would like more. You see what I'm saying? Like or a model or something. Maybe she doesnn't feel like she is worthy of this situation. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And that's where I think if I was her husband, that's what will key me. Like I'll be like, oh, I need to make sure.
Yep. It's eye opening for Steph.
I don't want any of these people. Yeah. Like it is only you. And I maybe that's what they had after that to squash it. I thought it was an innocent comment. I didn't see that much into it, but clearly a lot of people did.
I see it as innocent because she shared her vulnerability, and I see it as damaging because there's wolves that are probably looking at her DM right now.
Yeah, and wolves in that sense, but also wolves in I can't wait to crush her hopes and dreams. I can't wait to make her feel worse than she does now. There's people like that.
But I think that's the people that she's gonna have to learn to ignore, right? Because that happens to like what Lecrae told us. No matter what you say to anybody, it's gonna hurt, right? Like LeBron looks at his DM and he's like, "Man, that hurts." Like I suck. Why do I suck all of a sudden? Yeah. And so I think that everybody feels that way. I know we felt that way when we started getting the whole negative comments about line for line and what we do and stuff. I do. I feel like that. I do.
Well, I think you feel those negative comments because you put so much hard work into what you do or whatever. And somebody just say, "Oh, this is trash," or this or that. You like, but you went up 4 o'clock in the morning, or you went up this to say this was trash.
And
I
think this hit the nail. This is where I'm a little, because I'm different in this way. Strangers saying bad things about me, I could care less. I don't care nothing about strangers. Yeah. It's the people that I know that hurts me. Them saying things bad about me is what cuts me close. Family, friends, people, acquaintances. Strangers. When people used to say stuff about us and, oh, y'all are Satanists and line for line is of the devil and blah, blah, blah. Y'all ain't Christians. Where's the Bible? I don't care what you think. Who are you? I don't even know what you look like. It doesn't matter to me at all.
That takes a certain type of person to be able to do that too. Maybe. Because, I mean, we've had some things where me and Jeremiah and Rick, we all been upset about, and you've been like, y'all let that go. Y'all let it go. And it's the right thing. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Flying off the handle, getting upset, and attacking people on social media is the wrong thing to do. But when you're in your feelings at that moment, you're like, yo, I just want to whatever.
And it may be easy. I'll just say this: it may be easy for me to say because it's not millions of people saying it. Like if millions of people and notable celebrities were saying it, maybe it would change how I feel about it. But randoms, like I just don't understand. Who cares? Yeah. Who cares what random, no name, no picture people say? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I did want to say really quickly though, I think that the fact that your wives disagreed with her comment, that's a great thing for me from the outside looking in, because that means that you all are doing what you need to do. Your wives don't feel that way.
Yeah,
but I think
good.
Jeremiah hit the nail on the head when he said, people weren't up 4 o'clock in the morning working. So she probably feels that same way, because women invest so much into everything that they do. Not saying that men don't, but sometimes women will put their dreams on hold, to raise the kids, to, support the man, to do all of these things. And then when the kids are grown, the man is gone, or he's made his millions, or he's gotten, all his rings or whatever, she's looking up like, who am I? Mm-hmm. And even having been in like terrible relationships before, I know that sometimes the thing that would kind of help me get back to myself would be just to put on some lipstick or whatever. And I'm not even like a real makeup wearer. I got a little bit on today, but I'm not a real.
It's your birthday.
Turn up.
But I think that like that kind of helped when I had a relationship that was like really, really horrible. Like, but in the end, like, putting on some lipstick, okay, I started get back to myself. And it wasn't even from compliments, because honestly, if Aisha got some of the compliments, like lately, I don't know what it is, the grandfather gang been, and I'm like, no sir, no thank you.
So like them old Panthers that's still crawling.
Barely.
Late night crawling.
Barely. But yeah, so I think it's something. I think really that's her love language. Is probably affirmation, and probably something that's also true. From her childhood, like you said. So she's looking for that, but the worst place to look for it really is on social media, and then from the public.
Yep.
Real quick, is it another thing too? Is it me and Maya talked about this about age? Is that another thing too? Like, do you think her being
She
young,
just turned 30,
being in that young phase of having children and still having that
the
young
transition into 30 is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for everybody.
Yeah, so
it's hard for everybody. So I think that's again, to me, this is I think where the church ladies need to come and support. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about that. It's normal what you're feeling. Don't worry about
and
that.
Jada did a good job doing that. She did.
So hopefully, I just hate that she said it, not because it was wrong to say, but because people are evil, and they're gonna use it to destroy her. They're gonna try to destroy her. So hopefully she could bounce back. She has somebody who loves her, that supports her publicly, so that's good. LC3 number 1 said, "What does the Bible have to say about this? Is this any kind of theme in the Bible that would help her?" The only thing that came to mind was Proverbs, and how the woman of godly character carried herself. She had a famous husband as well. She doing a lot of the same things that Aisha has to do as well. Take care.
Proverbs 31.
Yeah, take care of family, buy fields. Like she wasn't just a housewife. She's doing stuff, right? Like Aisha does, right? So that's the only thing that immediately comes to mind. Modest, powerful, respectable, supporting. She's doing everything right. And nowhere in there was that woman getting a ton of attention from men. You know what I mean? So I think the hardest thing is that Steph, that'll never stop for Steph. He'll always get that attention because he's famous. And that's going to be something that she's constantly going to have to deal with. But in the same sense, in Proverbs 31, that woman's husband was a respected whatever. So maybe the same thing was happening. But her confidence should be in this man chose you. He loves you. You are doing a great job representing the kingdom and your family. You got nothing to worry about. Let that roll off.
And I think she going to get back to that. Like, I think she really going to, like, I think she has a strong support system that we don't see. And I'm not really worried. And she has, at the end of the day, she has a great husband. And it's obvious. So she's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think a book might be next. Author.
Hey.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
She is an author now.
She should write about this, though.
Yeah, but
she should write about this because she's in a unique situation of being a wife of somebody that is a big figure. That's not something everybody has to deal with. And I think there's a lot of insight into how, like, under extreme circumstances, how do you be this thing? You know what I'm saying? So I think there's some value. Exactly. So, all right, man, let's get back into it. You in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? This is Jason Bordeaux, the host of the Business with Bordeaux podcast. Are you interested in business and entrepreneurship? Are you a future leader?
In Atlanta, we build. We rose up out of Civil War flames to shed our shame and stake our claim as the capital of the new urban South, where all men are free and women can decree who they want to be in the city of 3 letters, A-T-L. It's a place we love greatly, which reminds us to tell you can't even spell that word without A-T-L. We built big, built tall, built fast, riding into the future but with respect for the past. We built brands, built legacies, built icons, from wins long gone to hip-hop's dawn, from burger joints that don't disappoint to soda shops on global backdrops. In Atlanta, we build. We are Southern ideals and global appeals. We are sweet tea and carefree. We are Olympic dreams and diverse streams of people, moving, doing, giving, and living in 45 neighborhoods connecting this city, reminding us that beauty is both pretty and gritty. From Mechanicsville to Morningside, Bankhead to Buckhead, from Inman Park's Victorian homes to Cabbagetown's artistic tones, from the glass towers of Midtown to Centennial Park in downtown. In Atlanta, we build. So forward we move, with nothing to lose, with a heart to make, a claim to stake, and innovation to shake our destiny up until it's fulfilled. Then maybe the world will understand that in Atlanta, we build.
All right, y'all. Where y'all from? Tell us where you from. Man, we appreciate y'all watching, man. Spread the word, share it. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up soon. Join the universe, join Nectar. Support us, man, because we got a lot of cool plans and projects that we're working on. But we need your support. We need.
You can go ahead.
Always go so fast.
Huh?
Even as I'm not understanding why these 2 hours always go so fast.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun.
Used to be 4 hours.
Yeah, when we first started, it was 4 hours.
Thank God. That's not 4 hours no more. That was a long time.
Man.
We have topics, more topics.
Daily
like
stuff.
daily topics. Yeah.
What's up, London, Tampa, Houston, Austell?
It's been on the table before, but
what?
If you in Georgia, please come through. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. Come hang out with us. We got some seats in here. Eventually, our goal is to make a porthole window in this wall right here and have like a studio audience.
So I can watch my kids.
Yeah. So we got some real cool. We're trying to I'll just be transparent with y'all. We're really trying to replace this. This one, it just doesn't look as good as the other ones, so we're trying to replace that one as well. So we're currently saving up for that. So pray for us on this.
Ohio in the building, LA.
All right, about to switch up.
Ryan Righteous, DJ Jeremiah, Sean Tanner. Time it is. Y'all know what time it is.
It's the billboards. You in the field, boy. It's the billboards. We in the field, boy. You tuned in and locked. Trackstarz. We beating on your block. Trackstarz. Yeah. I'm repping the most high king like mama, I made it. Trackstarz bringing the real, you love it to hate it. Life line with the kingdom, the secular faded.
Yo, what up, y'all? This your boy Cannon, man. Y'all better get ready for line, man. You already know what it is. Holla at your boy.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to the live show today. Make sure that if you are an artist out there, if you have a brand, if you have anything out there you want to promote, that you visit www.trackstarz.com. Contact us at trackstarz.com is the email that you want to use to let us know about your inquiry. We have a team ready to answer your questions and make sure that you can get all your needs met. All right.
And also, real quick, if you see these live commercials we started doing, if we're trying to really move this genre into the video film industry, right? So we're challenging you guys. If you have a project coming out or you're a brand, you sell clothes or whatever, make a commercial, 1 minute commercial, 30 seconds to 1 minute commercial. Make it dope. Think about this if you're putting this on TV. That's what we're trying to create, is a real
Quality.
TV, revolt
Quality.
TV quality show here. So send us a commercial. It's only $25 to get on there. So support us that way. Get your brand seen by a lot of people that care about what you're doing. So go to trackstarz.com/live show ads if you want to be a part of that. I want to challenge y'all, get good at this film stuff, because that's where we're going.
All right, man. Let's just get down to it, man. In one corner, speaking of Jordan Lucas, we got Jordan Lucas in the building.
Wow.
And we got a J Monty.
Oh.
We're going to do J Monty and Jordan Lucas. I was going to do him and Biz. I did. I thought about it. But then I started listening to some of the Biz's new stuff and Jordan stuff. The production-wise could have worked, but Joyner is a chopper as well, so he likes to rap fast, and I really couldn't find any Bizzle stuff that he's rapping really fast. He had a lot of Migos flow in his flow, so I was like, okay, Joyner Lucas. J Monty just dropped the album, so it's a good look for him.
I ran into J Monty about 2 weeks ago, and he was like, yo, y'all gotta have me back out on the show.
Oh yeah, man. I actually talked to him and asked him about some of his songs that he wanted me to use, and give me his songs, and he gave me some. So shout out to him. All right, views and opinions of the Trackstarz. Trackstarz Universal are not the views and opinions of the artist, the label, producer, others. You getting offended, man. You feel like, man, why y'all doing this? Please press stop now. You feel we are promoting mainstream artists on Trackstarz, you can go somewhere else. We try not to do the same artists over and over. If you're a person only listen to Christian artists and this ain't your cup of tea, I understand, yo. We got some dope topics, some noteworthy, some dissects that we got in the stash you should go look at. J Monty is not the Christian version of anybody. It's just a bit. All right, let's go. We're going to start this off with Joyner Lucas first. It's called I Don't Die. Here we go.
Been told that he a icon. Don't get just cause I ain't got no ice on don't mean I am not Sub-Zero. I should freeze you at nighttime. I'm like, where the heck we done at? I've been doing this since I was a kid, and my grandma used to ask me where my head at. Always in trouble cause I was never learning nothing except how to muscle my way into the game with no setbacks. And all that them is sleeping on me with a bed at. Cause I've been struggling trying to be on top of them other. It really doesn't mean nothing if the music get really cutting it. They can hit it together. I know one day y'all gonna see me. I make shy look freaky. I make dry look greasy. I make hard look easy. I remember way back when my.
All right, that was I Don't Die, Joyner Lucas. Okay, this is Shopping Carts. J Monty. I explain later. Here we go.
The force, I'm Jason, born with it. I ain't perfect, Jason, born with it. Soul going up and going higher. They know I only trust Jehovah Jireh. So now I open up the Obadiah. I never hold my tongue to open fire. Came from deep in the trenches of that darkness. I had to sleep with a pistol in my garments. Who'd ever think that a kid with a fine start would be running the street with them killers and night walkers? And now I got a feeling they all want me to fall till they all get the picking in my carcass. Still I survive marked with minimalized scars. I'm really a high target, syllable prime cars. I'm feeling the wide margin. Women and guys picking the right artists, kicking these lines off the noggin, bargain, shopping, zombie walking.
All right, that was I Don't Die versus Shopping Carts. Who y'all going with?
What you got?
Me first.
Yeah.
Second one, that's Shopping Carts, right?
Yeah.
Yep. J Monty. What you got?
This might be a whole show where you want to toss up on every line.
Yeah.
On every round. Because that was really dope. I'm going to edge it out with J Monty on that one.
J Monty.
Yeah.
What you got?
Man, this is gonna be tough. I'm a fan of both of them. And I'm not gonna toss. I'm probably okay. I think I'm gonna have to. At first, I had Joyner, but because of the bounce. But when J Monty just started going into that water flow, I think I gotta get to J Monty.
Okay, yeah, I feel the same way. This is gonna be really close because they're both good at rapping. Now, the only thing about this one is, I thought Joyner Lucas was a little more consistent in his flow. I like where J Monty ended up towards the end. That was a really cool flow pattern. But the beginning was a little rougher to me, so I'm gonna go with Joyner Lucas. What you got? Joyner Lucas. What you got?
Joyner. I go Joyner Lucas.
What's
Oh,
that?
wow.
It's looking like J Monty online, so that's a 4-3 round for J Monty.
J Monty. Wow.
Yeah, he killed it online.
Oh, because I'm seeing a lot of Joyner. Joyner.
It's actually a little bit
more J Monty.
It's a good mix in there, actually.
Okay. It's like way more Monty.
Yeah.
All right. Are we waiting for them, or does it matter?
We got it. We got it already.
Okay. Who won that one? J Monty. Okay, so J Monty's up 1-0. We're gonna start off with J Monty this time. This is called Savage. Here we go.
For the culture, no love for Jehovah. Sit on top of the sofa. See the manure we endure from a lot of fellows. Gotta maneuver through the sewer like I'm Donatello. On a computer, you a shooter. On the block, you jello. Need a recruiter when I tutor. Every user get a terabyte. Bars higher than the stars when you stare at night. Shack with the heat, it was never Fahrenheit. I'm at your door, but no, I ain't knocking your different coding. Just saying, talking about my father been getting lonely. They changing sports out here like they Scottie Pippins on me. Bruce Banner, Bruce Jenner, they all been switching on me. Not with the phony, we need a revival. More than your mama's guacamole, need Pico to.
All right, that was J Monty's 21 Savage. This is Joyner Lucas Ultrasound.
Now wait a minute, you finally got some paper, can't wait to get it. And it don't really matter cause you still lame. No matter how much cake you got, it wouldn't make a difference. I'm tired of all you rappers want free verses. Fuck about it here, this how I make a living. And dive up in the like Jamaican. I spend all of my dollars on some Lakers tickets. I think if I die young, they gon' miss me too. I think I'ma buy maybe empty too. I think I'ma sell to the kids in school. I think I'ma get buzzed if it gets me through. I think I'ma need a hide if they know where I live. I think I'ma drink and drive till I told her to whip.
All right, that was Ultrasound, Joyner Lucas, 21 Savage, J Monty. Who y'all going with?
What you got?
I should have sat in Rick's seat. Wow.
She taking notes too. This ain't no game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Joyner on this one.
Joyner.
I'm gonna go Joyner.
I think so. I'm gonna go. Dang, why am I here today? I'm gonna go with Jay this time. That beat Joyner Lucas kind of threw me off a little bit, but I'm gonna go with J Monty.
Okay, I'm going to go with Joyner Lucas. I thought they both rapped well again, but I think Joyner's beat and production sounded a little bit better. More of a fun song, so I'm gonna go with Joyner. What you got?
Got Joyner Lucas.
I like both of them. I don't want to use my toss, so I would say J Monty.
All right, what's that?
So that's 4-2. Joyner Lucas. So I guess it doesn't matter online.
Oh, okay.
It's looking like Joyner online, so Joyner Lucas.
Yeah.
Lucas got that.
So it's 1-1.
It's 1-1 going to the third round.
All right, here we go. This is Joyner Lucas, Winter Blues. Here we go.
You make me sick, no time for no babysit. This is the way we live, and yes, I'm okay with this. You think you all that in the bag of potato chips? Could jump off a crazy bridge, and enough of you 80 kids go sucking a lady. I would never just make amends with none of you shaking hands in public, and yeah. Like, get the my face, dude. Listen, I don't give a about your feelings. You don't have any idea. That's what I had to do to get loose. All I wanted was to make a decent living. I can't even count on my fingers how much I went through. Woo! What I went through, yeah. What I went through. And when you get real, ain't really nothing that you can't do.
All right, that was Winter Blues, Joyner Lucas. This is Sad Rap Criminal, J Monty.
Had to carry Underwood, cross on his back. He offered us love, we ain't offer it back. We just mock and attack, then fall in the trap of derailed humans with seatbelts loose and who need help chewing. I revamp truth like I'm C.S. Lewis. That's Narnia, then of a part of my trivia. God is my witness, I fought on my chin when the father is in. Just to tremble at his tibias. Attack that syllable with a backpack minimal. Get a hashtag killing you. Got a fat gap back for a bad tactical sad rap criminal. The clap back critical. Get a trash back sent to you. Evict me sin like a sad past 10 on the 5th of June. If it's due, I'm a lab rap miracle. I laugh at intervals. You got a snack pack knapsack ritual. I will bounce over bag that any dude. Got no time for you Squidward tentacle monsters. And if you start
J Monty, Sad Rap Criminal versus Winter Blues, Joyner Lucas. Who y'all going with?
What you got?
I think I'm gonna go Joyner on that one.
Joyner, what you got?
I'm gonna go Monty. Although I will say this, I think I would have much more. I would have enjoyed it a lot more if it was a cappella. I would have. Yep, I would have just loved to hear that with no beat. So, but he still edged it out for me. I'm gonna go with J Monty on that.
What you got?
I'm gonna go with Joyner.
Joyner. I am going to go with J Monty just because his flow pattern was unorthodox on that, but he still found something in there that was very interesting, and it was still by the book. It was a flow pattern I wouldn't have thought of. Yeah. But it was still very impressive. So I got Monty. What you got?
I got J Monty.
Monty.
Me
what
too.
You got?
I got J Monty.
Okay, so that's 4-2 J Monty. So we're going into the fourth round. That's 2-1 for J Monty's up right now.
Are we going to the fourth?
Yeah, going into the fourth.
All right, here's J Monty, Fred Hammond. Here we go.
Timing, we seeking relief from the cause and effect that would lead to depleting the profit. Agree with the prophet so long as the speech of the prophet agrees with the greed of our pockets. Give me the key to my rocket. I must be up infinity, even beyond it. Capping don't exist. When I get the trap Jehovah and the clap to coexist, rapping holiness. You can lead the Babylonian for the Babylonians. No, I wreak havoc in pandemonium. I flow from Atlanta to Macedonia. I only attack the podium of the phony who lacking sodium and then bragging on it, savage on it, slapping on it, keep the camera on it. Moved out my house and said, Mama, I'm grown. Got off on my phone, cause people too thirsty and Satan be lurking, and I don't want dead men or an.
All right, that was Fred Hammond, J Monty. This is Stranger Things, Jonah Lucas.
While I'm driving, I'm walking in the sky with such. We jump inside of the Buick, you duck a half in the couple choppers acoustic and the guitar when the music is I'm alive and I use it. Get stuck inside of the cuteness. I never lie, but the truth is I'm tired of these losers. And all my life want the food when it's summertime in the juice, but I'd rather die than to lose it. Some matter time for I lose it and strategize with the movement. Walk in the trap like a boss. Oh, you know I'm dripping with the sauce. Oh, pretty with a face full of scars. All they did was build me up, try to take me apart. They ain't never wanna celebrate. Like you have a labor called a doctor, heard the chopper make a mute a Macarena. All you drink is sweet as candy, chocolate chip, and an hour later, Jolly Ranger.
All right, that was Jordan Lucas, Stranger Things. I Don't Die. I'm sorry, Fred Hammond, J Monty. Y'all going with?
What you got?
I'm gonna go J Monty on that one.
J Monty. What you got?
I am so glad because I was celebrating when I heard it. I was like, I hope that I'm still able to use my toss-up when it matters. So it matters right now. So I'm going to use toss-up.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, what you got?
I love that song with Joyner and Chris. So I'm going to have to go with that one. Even though I was asking you, are we going to hear the part where he goes, this that Jordan Mill.
Oh, no, I didn't get to that part. Because parts of it, I don't want to do hook against like a rap line. So we're trying to do another line.
Oh, I got Joyner.
Okay, so I was ready to pick Monty because I like the flow pattern he chose on that. If we're doing Make Me a Rapper, right? This is another level.
Oh, it's
Monty
definitely another level.
This is not just AABA stuff that I've been trying to tell you. he is crossing over bars. It's
ridiculous.
It's class 401. So
it's scary.
But however, though, I think Joyner's doing the same kind of math on his joints too, but his song sounded better. So I got Joyner on that. What you got?
Yeah, I got Joyner too.
What you got?
I like the Fred Hammond joint. I'm gonna go with J Monty.
All right, what's that?
So that's 3-2 Joyner, but we need online. So Damien, we need you online.
Damien, they said they need you online. Oh, they behind.
They're behind.
Yeah, they're behind. So try and get as many as you can.
It looks like
it's going back and forth too, joint.
Okay, Dean says it's J Monty online, so that's a tie then, 3-3.
Oh wow, that's tossed up.
That's
so
good.
Right now it's 2 J Monty, 1 for Joyner. We're going into the 5th round.
All right, here we go. We're gonna start off with Joyner Lucas this round. This is called I Love. Here we go.
They call me out, I'm a soldier. Love when they think I ain't cool, cause I'm sober. You used to love when we was down, we was closer. But I stopped loving ever since I got over. Don't call me, I don't know you. You gotta keep that same energy. I'm not no regular entity. I'm not your friend, I'm your enemy. I don't know what's gotten into me. Lately, I'm just feeling finicky. Lately, I just want the cake and the greatest amenities. Lately, I ain't got no sympathy. Aim at the industry. This ain't the way that they picture me. What's your identity? I guess I'm lining them up. I keep my in the truck.
That was on I Love Joyner Lucas. This is 7 Nights, J Monty.
Can't convince myself the Lord is shit. Day and nights run together now, and I forgot to where the morning is. Hey, everybody want a piece of the pie. I wouldn't steal from her, but I look at my son and see me in his eye, and I feel like I'd kill for him. I serve a couple 100 years for him. Now, but really, I just want to make sure before he go to bed, I got a meal for him and some money tucked away for real storms. That's a real story. I ain't asking y'all to feel for me. I ain't asking y'all to fear for me. I'm just asking God if it's truly that did it, take the wheel and steer for me. I know you know I put it 6 feet under if it's.
All right, that was 7 Nights, J Monty. I Love Joyner Lucas. Who you going with?
What
You are so good at what you do. I'm going J Monty on that one.
Yeah. What you got? Monty, what you got?
I'm going to go Joyner on this one.
Okay.
Go Joyner.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Joyner too, actually.
Joyner. Ah, man, this is rough because I didn't really like how Joyner started. I know what he's doing. He was building up throughout that verse. But I liked Monty's pattern, but again, I think he's losing on the song itself. I'm trying not to forget that part. And Joyner's song sounded better. So if you combine those two, I think I got to go with Joyner. What you got?
I got Joyner too.
Joyner. What you got?
I'm going with Monty. I'll go with J Monty.
What's that?
Okay, that's 4-2 Joyner. So it's 2-2 going into the 6th round. Tied up.
It's tied up.
Okay. Here we go, man.
This is it. There's no 7th round then, because whoever wins is it.
Yeah, man.
We should do it though because it's Joyner and J Monty.
For the culture. All right. What you got?
All right, here we go. We're gonna start off with J Monty first. My God, here we go.
Freedom call, but I ain't hear it. Evil thoughts all in my lyrics. Jesus fought to bring me near him. We was lost and needed healing, but we weren't fearing no spirit. No, we was rather in the pyramids, parents in the mirror, fearing the boy. Smoking medical, but killing my joy. Toting several tools, growing vegetables, blowing revenue to filling the voice. Still a boy, still enjoy to feel employed. You lift your voice with empty noise and cry when you're from a neighborhood of limited choices. Don't give me appointments, just give me a blunt and I'm fit to that poison. I'm fit to destroy it. I justify murder like Zimmerman's lawyer. Jesus came to give me a new vision and sent me here to witness and to listen. My sin was killing quick and with
My God, J Monty. Devil's Work, Joyner Lucas.
Tupac back and say is shook. Let the legend resurrect, he gon' live for good. I been screaming thug life in every different hood. If only you can bring him back, Lord, I wish you would. Give us Biggie, give us Pun, give us Triple X. Take that Trump with you, that's a bigger threat. There's too much power for a coward with no intellect. That's a bigger with a collar, there's a disconnect. Dying, mama crying, grandma need a tissue. Shooting up a church, now I need a. All them still living, you don't see the issue. But how you take a leader, then you take a leader with you.
All right, Devil's Work, Joyner Lucas. My God, J Monty. Who y'all going with?
What you got?
I'm gonna go with J Monty on that one.
J Monty. What you got? Wait, why? I want to see what your notes say. Why?
I didn't take notes that time.
Okay.
I don't know. It was really, really close. So I just figured I would go Kingdom.
Okay.
That's
Kingdom Crunk. What you got?
Oh man, this was actually where I was like, man, I knew that toss came out too soon. I think I'm gonna go Joyner on this one, even though I really like the J Monty song. You know, one of the things that I'm debating on right now is like the complication of listening to J Monty and trying to figure out how did he do that, right? And so in my mind, I'm like, yeah, let me just go simple right now because I remember, I don't know, I got some, I don't know. I'm gonna go J.
I like what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Joyner because, like I said earlier, like I felt that song. So whenever I can really feel that song, then that's where I'm going. So.
Okay, so for this one, I am definitely going J Monty. J Monty was playing chess with that verse, man. Like, and this is where it's that higher level I'm talking about. J Monty is bored with rap. It's clear to me that he decided, you know what? I don't want to just rap for real, normal like that. This is kind of what Eminem is at too, where it's like I'm trying to challenge myself, and the flow patterns he's finding in these verses is like expert level.
It is.
It's on all Madden. You know what I mean? And it's impeccable. And Joyner wasn't doing that in that song. He was just trying to tell a story, which is cool. But if we got line for line now is where I got to lean towards the lyrics. And I don't agree with most of what Joyner said for real when we broke it down. So I understand his passion. I like what he was coming from, but man, Jay Monty is super good, and I'm sad that it's not appreciated anymore to do what he's doing. Is really, to me, not appreciated in Christian hip hop.
Yeah.
I don't think Christian hip hop cares 1 ounce about, like, there's a group of fans that care, but there is not enough of them to make that artist thrive as an artist. That's what I'm upset about, because what Jay Monty is doing is a class. You know what I'm saying? He's giving you a lyrics class.
Yeah.
The way he's weaving in words and the inner rhymes inside of rhymes, it's not just about rhyming that last word. He's rhyming all in the phrase. It's amazing. So I got Monty. What you got?
Motis.
Joyner. He's like, forget all that.
Yeah.
What you got?
I'm gonna say Joyner too.
Joyner.
All right, it's Monty online, but Joyner still came out on top, so we got a 3-2 victory for Joyner Lucas.
Wow.
Wow.
I disagree with that.
Me too. I'm actually gonna challenge.
Didn't you vote for Joyner?
No. I agree. I disagree with the finals.
Yeah,
right,
okay.
The finals. Are we
Did
talking
y'all
about
want to do a 7? Because the 7 would have been interesting.
Let's do it. Why not?
Let's do it. Okay, Here we go. Who y'all want to start first?
Joyner.
Joyner? Yeah. I'm not a racist.
Remind you, I praise Tupac like he was a god. He was fighting for his life way before he died. And all you care about is money and power and being ugly, and that's the ash within you. Hatred all in your brain and slowly start to convince you. Then you teach it to your children until the cycle continue. Blame it on Puerto Rico, blame it on OJ, blame it on everybody except for your own race. Blame it on black, then blame it on black citizens. Aim at the black businesses. I ain't saying I'm innocent, but I might be any day now. Treating everybody how you want in any way.
I'm not racist. Joyner Lucas, 21 Gold Street, J Monty.
See how freedom feel. I had to do a brief recon. Now I sing while you drown Celine Dion. Demons in my head like Sweeney Todd. Now I'm clapping back like Vietnam. I had to read a song, speak to God, beat the odds. It's my flow coat like I drink Creon. You lost your soul, you need season. 21 Gold, the street we on. Fight for freedom, we are proud to be the lightest street. A sight to see, we but the dynasty for higher king. I'm flying high just like I'm Michael's feet in 93. A pilot team from China, expect to Dubai, at least saw you a fool. That's
Yeah, man, that was 21 Gold Street.
I ate my words.
What you got?
Joyner Lucas.
No tosses.
No tosses.
I know, right? And I'm definitely going. I'm going Jay Monty on that. He gave me a Toby feel on that, and I was feeling that. I'm going Jay Monty.
What you got?
Yeah, I'm going Jay Monty on that. I also will say this too. I'm gonna ask Jay Monty to come in and be on the Make Me a Rapper.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And see,
you need to do that later.
No, yeah, well, he wants to come to the show, so I think it'd be good to
drive.
No.
You ain't ride a bike yet.
No, because I have so many questions after what I just heard. I have so many questions for whether or not this is a pen situation, or whether or not this is a freestyle, or whether or not you're in the studio and you just throw on the beat and you just start like putting the words together. Because
I believe he probably could do that,
but
my guess is it's a pen situation because the intricacy he's going into. I'm not a freestyler, so there are some people who can do that, like King Los and people like that, can get real intricate with their freestyle. But the way he's going in and out of words, I would be shocked, and I would love to hear him say whether it's true or not. But I would be shocked if all of it is freestyle. Like, it's so much detail in it that that would shock me.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when you put that on a pen, when you put that on a pad, it's almost kind of like, how do you even hear that pattern in your head when you're writing that out? Like, that's, to me, is crazy.
It's lesson number one. Like, you sit there, you figure out what pattern you want to do, and then you let the words lead you. Some of the words you choose will lead you into another word. Some words sound interesting, and then they lead you into what other words you may need to use to finish it off. Like, to me, he's on a level where I don't even know if he knows where he's gonna go when he starts.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think he lets the words kind of trace him through a verse, and that to me is like expert level.
Yeah, so I'll say this and really quickly, just to update, since we didn't do the Make Me a Rapper segment today, the update is I talked to award-winning and Oscar winner MC Nice.
Yes.
He is going to produce for me, so shout out to him. He's going to
Man,
produce
you
a
getting
track.
beats, son?
Oh,
yeah. He's going to produce a track for me.
Can I get one?
Yeah, we get beats.
His
We've been in the game for 5 years.
His resume is long, going back to productions with Tupac and Nas, and being a Billboard chart topper.
I'm hating.
Ryan figured out the game. You just got to act like you can't rap, and people just throw you beats.
No, actually I can't. But
Charlotte,
another upgrade is I did make it out to a studio session for the first time.
You actually recorded his verse.
Recorded, but I didn't want to play anything today because it's the mix and master that has to happen first because it just doesn't sound right. I mean, I think I did it correctly. I know that there was a point where I cut out.
We are going to play it offline. So remember, we're making this into like a documentary, a podcast, and all that. I am going to play that version. I am going to play that version in the podcast, the unfinished one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because we need to talk about it.
Yeah. There's definitely some things I told Jeremiah I had to do. So I didn't have an engineer. So the punch in, I had to go back and keep punching in.
Yeah.
And so
we need to record that session. That whole session of how you approach recording and your energy in the booth and getting edits.
Yeah, we need more time then.
Exactly.
So the issue was I had to actually take the track and do editing to the track and bring my voice into the track. So it wasn't like I just hit record, hit the beat, and then just kept going. I had to keep stopping and going back and putting it. So when I finally put together a snippet to send to you, it was because I had already mashed my voice. And so Jeremiah was like, it was a part in there where you came off and then you tried to push the beat back together. You can't do that. And I know I can't do that. But like I said, I was by myself.
All right, we'll work on it. Shout out to, we got our first person that signed up for the Make Me a Rapper consulting service.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a part of that, there's a monthly, we get to chop it up and go through some different techniques and stuff. So if this sounds like, hey, I'm rapping already, I just want to get better, or I'm thinking about rapping, I want to see if I can, or I just want to do it for fun.
Yeah.
Hit us up and we'll go through. There's a program we have that can help you get sharper.
And I would say this too. It's great that you want to do the monthly, but I would say try to get on the weekly, right? Because
it's every week.
No, I'm talking about. Okay, so it is.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because I was gonna say if I didn't have y'all talking in my ear every week, I would either get stale or I would think that I'm not advancing.
Yeah, it's a 1 hour call 3 times a month, so you get plenty of instruction. So hit us up, and again, remember we're moving on to other things. Make me a producer, make me a podcast host or whatever. So we'll hit up everything. But yeah, so Make Me a Rapper is available if you're trying to get sharper, you want some real good feedback. And remember, ain't no soft pedaling with me in this. If you call me for this, I'm gonna tell you the truth 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because normally if you come on here line for line or whatever, I'm gonna tell you the truth, but it's gonna be nice, you know?
Yeah.
But if you tell me, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think about this. Because if you really want to get better, like Ryan knows, I'll tell you this is what's wrong with this.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you just gotta deal with it.
Tough
all right.
love.
All right, so thank you for coming. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Hey, tell them how to listen to the Kingdom station here.
Okay, so we have an app. You just go to your app store, Kingdom Crunk, spelled Kingdom, the way we spell Kingdom. Crunk is CRUNK''D. Of course, on Twitter, you have to use ED. And if you're looking for me, I'm Michelle Wilson, MISHAY. I'm not going to say that. I am just a somebody. That's my new thing. I'm trying to speak positive.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're looking for me on Instagram, I'm under Pretty Confident One. So thank you all for having me. This has been amazing.
Yeah. Thanks for coming,
man. All right, so let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
This is Miracle from Trackstarz. I wanted to make sure you guys know all about the official Trackstarz universe. So, if you'd like a free Trackstarz t-shirt, yes, as well as free merch, discounts, and exclusive content, and of course, direct access to your favorite radio host, then this is for you. Make sure you go to trackstarz.com/official. That's trackstarz.com/official.
That's a wrap. Make sure you take a picture in front of the T and sign the wall. We didn't get speech to sign the wall.
I would love a picture with you on here if you have a moment.
Do they?
Yes, right. You don't have to say it again.
I wish I could have flown y'all to Maryland for our play. I have clips or whatever.
Oh,
but they turned it into, it was kind of like Hamilton or whatever, but it was so good. And they are all original race. But I think they did it like that this time because when they did the Christmas one, they couldn't record. But I don't know if they recorded.
Wait, where was this?
At my church in Maryland.
That's really good.
The guy who wrote it is an actual actor, and then he does coaching and all that. But he went to Howard. He's good. Like I did.
Little matchup.
That's awesome.
You laugh whenever my kid
little.
Like, it's an inside joke. Ernest and the guys, they were doing a podcast called Debate Fuel, and some girl on Twitter was like your little podcast or whatever.
I say stuff like that. That little or whatever.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks, guys.
So how long did it take you?
Depends.